Interested in people who are willing to speak their truth. She actually is the truth.
How posh is this?
It's going to be a very special night.
One night only.
Welcome back to the National Stadium here in Singapore. It's the AFF Suzuki Cup 2020 first leg final, where Indonesia have been outplayed by the Thais. Chanatip Songkrasin has got the opening goal very early on, the quickest goal ever in a AFF Suzuki Cup final, and the reaction is to bring on three players. Evan Dimas, Elkan Baggett and Kadek Agung are the three to come on. And it could well be a change in the way they set themselves up. We'll see very shortly indeed. But Roshan, something had to be modified because they were getting outplayed on all parts of the park, weren't they?
Yes, that's what they had to do. They had to react at halftime, and that's what they did. And that's what they've done, sorry. They made those changes. So let's see how it affects the overall shape of this Indonesian team. It looks like at the moment it's just going to be perhaps just like for like. Elkan Baggett still going into central defence. Still with that four-man back line.
It appeared, Roshan, that they were struggling. Fakhruddin was struggling, wasn't he, with the pace. 32-year-old veteran defender seemed to be struggling with the pace. particularly of Bodin Pala on that left-hand side for Thailand.
I mean, if that was the case, it's an interesting one, because I don't think Elkan Baggett is that pacey as well. So you've now got two young central defenders in there, Rizky and Elkan Baggett. You've taken out experience in Fakhruddin. You've added a bit more experience in midfield in Evan Dimas.
Might see a bit more of Alfredo Devanga perhaps, just hanging back. We'll see. Forward by Asnawi. It looks like they are certainly trying to be a bit more aggressive if they can. Kadek Agung just muscled off the ball far too easily. Elkan Baggett came in from Ipswich under 23s, another one they're pinning a lot of hopes on. He's had a very eventful AFF Suzuki Cup. Resisted attempts at first to play for Indonesia. They flew in for this tournament and played one match, then got quarantined, and then scored a goal on his return against Malaysia.
It's quite interesting the way he's been used by Indonesia, isn't it? I mean,
second half impact.
It's almost like he's always coming on at half time. So just see Witan maybe knocked to the back. What they needed to adjust was the left back position as Alfeandra. Which they've dropped into their part of the pitch.
Here's Tirasin Dunga, plenty of Thai attackers. Look at that overlapping run on the left-hand side. Just a little bit too much on the ball there. Poklo Anand.
Swift counter from Thailand there. You get the players pouring forward. With a high starting position there for Thailand again. Applying their pressure on the short goal kicks out.
By Evan Dimas, and Rahmat Irianto is the other one who has left the pitch. Evan Dimas replaces him. Well worth a shot, why not? Taking a bit of a deflection. Super Chok's effort, and it will be a corner.
He's been everywhere for Thailand. Here he is popping up in a central position. And that would have troubled the goalkeeper. I think they're not taking a bit of a deflection.
Indonesian fans trying their best here. show support for their team. Pretty even numbers in here tonight. Board Impala. Kept alive here by Poklaa Anand. Chanatip out across the board in. Simple in, but it's headed away by Risky.
A brave header away. Brave header away, the second one from Alfreandra. Had to put his head on that. Anticipating the possible contact from Super Chop. Get bodies in there and taking on personal responsibility. Get the attack crosses that come in.
Interesting little switch, isn't it, to have him now at left wing back.
Well, that's right.
Alfreandra Devanga.
And in the first half, Thailand got quite a bit of joy down that right-hand side, Indonesia's left. Looks like it was something that they needed to address just at half-time. Decided to go with that switch.
Witan Sulaiman, quick ball in. You can see what he was attempting to do, the Didik. That's solid, isn't it, from the makeshift centre-back today. Wirata up the other end. Here comes Supachok. He's steaming in. Cuts inside Elkabag. It's still Supachok. He goes back to Chanatip. Goal number 2. A fantastic counter-attack by Thailand.
Just too good. Individual quality and brilliance. Giving Thailand this goal. Supachok. Absolutely superb. They win it there. Nothing wrong with that tackle. And they go from penalty box to penalty box. Just have a look at this. 3 players up front. The first touch in there into Supachok. And then for him to carry the ball all the way forward. Turns it around, gets himself closed down by 3 Indonesian defenders. But Chanatip on hand after he played their first pass into Supachok. Joining in the attack. Changing the angle of the run. Starting from a deeper position. Closer to the left-hand side, drifts in field into the middle of the penalty box. And just side foots it past Nadeo. I think sees the ball late.
He only scores in first legs, Roshan. That's 2 apiece in the semi-final first leg, and now here in the final first leg. Remember, he had a chance for a hat-trick against Vietnam. And his penalty right down the middle was very easily saved, and now a lot of work to do for the Indonesians. We were speculating, weren't we, before halftime, how they would approach the second half. Perhaps they learnt from that previous game against Vietnam, and they've come out guns blazing.
Well, first of all, excellent centre forward play by Tirasin. And yeah, again, you said you want to maintain that element of control. You know, you want to make sure that Indonesia don't get into any sort of rhythm. As you have a look at the top scorer's charts here, he's gone top there, ahead of Tirasin, both on 4 goals each. Still plenty of time for that to change.
Tirasin looking, of course, to extend his lead at the top of the all-time scorers charts. Here is Supachok. Oh, that's not that far away, is it? Another one that's worth the effort, Poklaa Anand.
You know, the way Thailand are going at the moment, this could be over after the first leg. Just
remembering how they shut up shop in the second leg against Vietnam, having a 2-0 lead. If they wanted to.
Able to do that against perhaps coming into this the best side in Southeast Asia at the moment in Vietnam. Just in complete control, Thailand.
Here is Board Impala, and without many of their regulars. So impressive. And more to come from this side. Kritsada. They've also been stung, Roshan. I think you and I have talked about this throughout the tournament. They've been stung a little bit by the criticism. They had a poor World Cup campaign by their high standards.
Yeah.
Being bundled out early on, not even finishing 3rd in that World Cup qualifying group in round 2. There was a mini Suzuki Cup in there, and the likes of Indonesia took points off them. Malaysia, Vietnam, of course. And they were stung by that word. That hurt, didn't it?
You know, there's been a bit of talk about how that spark it's just seemed to have gone out a little bit since Ketesok Zico left his post. And I'll come back to it.
Here's
This
Asnawi. Boos from the crowd from this game and perhaps from the last one as well. Oh, that's a delightful ball, isn't it? Out to Supachok. Here he is, Chanatip. Another long-range effort, perhaps. Well, they're all taking their turns, aren't they, at the moment? Tirasin now. They're peppering this goal.
Every time Supachok gets on the ball, he's creating danger. All sorts of issues for the Indonesian defense. Lovely step over, linking up with Chanatip. And you wonder, just going back to that spark coming back into the Thai national team with Mano Polking coming in.
We'll come back to that. Here is Irfan Jaya. He's offside though. Briefly, the fans got excited there. Thailand look like they're going to make a few changes now that they've probably secured this first leg. Let's see.
Again, it's another really good driving run from Kambuaya. Irfan Jaya, I mean, that's poor from him because he's looking right across the line. And he's not bothered to sort of just try and either bend his run or just drop off a little bit to try and keep himself. It's another really good driving run from Kambuaya. Irfan Jaya, I mean, that's poor from him because he's looking right across the line. And he's not bothered to sort of just try and either bend his run or just drop off a little bit to try and keep himself onside. Kambuaya, I think, has been Indonesia's best player, and for Thailand, it's been Supachok. I know the temptation will be to give the man of the match to Chanatip. His 2 goals, which were really good finishes, but I think Supachok has been that real driving force, that creative element for Thailand.
Well, he is certainly in contention, isn't he, Chanatip, for MVP. To regain the crown that he lost. He didn't play, of course, in the last edition. Well, that needed to be a better ball from Alfredo Devanga into the path of Ricky Kambuaya. Well, here the changes. Titipan and Supachai to come on. An opportunity for possibly Tirasin. And perhaps Pitiwat to have a little bit of a break. That would be the obvious changes, perhaps. We'll see. Remember in the last leg where Tirasin was asking if he could come off. And Polking was saying, just give me a few more minutes. Suwarak has had very, very little to do in this game. So from Indonesia's point of view now, they've just got to stay in this, don't they?
Yeah.
It's almost damage limitation now. Just keep it at 2 if they can. Maybe get a goal back, but at least certainly not conceding a third.
Exactly that. I mean, we touched on this, I think, in the first half about not letting the game run away from you. There's a real danger here that it could ahead of the second leg. And this is where tactically as well, I think if you're a coach, you're thinking about these things as well. You know, you can't take too many risks, can't take too many chances, can't open up too much.
Yeah.
Because you know there's still another game to go. And look, there's still time for Indonesia to turn this around, but it's been difficult for them to really get into the game. They've had one big moment, one high-quality opportunity through Alfreandra.
Yeah. And look, he has had an excellent tournament, hasn't he, Alfreandra?
That's right.
That's not his job, is not to put the goals in, but of course he was still in that great position, but he has been superb for them.
And a lot of these players have been great. A lot of them have been. You know, if they do end up going on to lose this,
We'll come back to that in a second, Roshan, as we just complete the substitutions, and it is going to be Tirsin to come off. Won't add to his tournament tally. This is a change we quite often see. Supachai Chaided to replace him. And as we speculated as well, Pitiwat to be replaced by Titipan. Pretty much like-for-like changes then.
And they've really managed the workloads of the players very well, Thailand. And it's easy to do that when you've got such a wonderful squad, but also having that faith in the squad to deliver. Despite the changes that you've made, players will repay that faith that you've put in them.
Here's Evan Dimas, no longer able to command an automatic starting place in this 11 under Shin Tae-yong.
That was a really good turn from Asnawi that earlier. Drop of the shoulder, get rid of Pitipan on the press and then turn away.
Another one that was impressed in previous editions of the AFF Suzuki Cup. Here's a chance for Irfan! Another opportunity, not taken, and Sivarak finally called into action.
Very good chance for Indonesia. And again, it's Kambuaya at the heart of it. He's the one who receives it in space. There you go, makes a run in behind that Thai midfield, picks it up in space, picks out a lovely pass through into Irfan Jaya. The weight on that pass, I think, is excellent. It's right into the run of Irfan Jaya. He doesn't even have to sort of break his stride. He just needs to adjust his body shape. Can't get it wide enough with enough bend. And Kambuaya, as I say, who's been excellent for Indonesia, is the man who's coming off.
Well, he has been brilliant. And a big roar, though, for this man here, Egy Maulana. So much speculation as to when he would be playing in this tournament. He came on against Singapore in the second leg of that semi-final, and he'll get a bit more time here today. He's in Slovakia with Senica. He is often regarded as the great big hope of Indonesian football, the 21-year-old. Like maybe just give the team a bit of a boost, but as Roshan mentioned, the most creative player, the one who's really been at the heart of things, Nicky Kambuaya, has been taken off. About half an hour or so, if you include some added time here for Indonesia in this first leg to try and get something out of this if they can. Elkan Baggett out wide to his left wing back, Afrianda Devanga. There's Witan Sulaiman still going here, and that's easy for Sivarak.
He's found it very difficult to get involved in the game with Tan Sulaiman, and it's a credit to Thailand. They've got 10 players around him every time he's gotten on the ball. And there he was able to just wriggle away, got a bit fortunate with that. Couldn't quite find the final pass into one of his runners in the box.
Baggett brought down play continues. Devanga. There's Asnawi. Now Egy Maulana. Lovely return ball. Here's Asnawi. Little moments here, flashes for Indonesia. Irfan. Kadek Agung. Still Kadek Agung. Trying to weave his way through Witan Sulaiman. And now look at this, Super Chok.
might have taken a boot to the face on the follow through. Super chop. But Witan, that's much better from him. Starting to grow into this game a little bit in the second half. A bit of skill, link up with Kadek. And looking to weave his way through that defense. But it's Wiratep with an important leg out. Good challenge from Wiratep, central midfielder playing in central defense for Thailand. Lars Dola was taken off with an injury.
Superchok, he quite often finds himself at the end of challenges, doesn't he? He's taken quite a beating in this tournament. Players like him and Chanatip will often...
we'll draw challenges, we'll draw these fouls. And you have to be brave. You know, players like that, they take on the responsibility to want to make things happen with the ball. The hits will come. But also I think we see with Chanatip, especially at this level, and the knowledge and the experience that he has now of how to use his body and how to protect himself, you know, from challenges like that. You know, he sees it coming almost, and you know, he knows sort of the steps that he needs to take in terms of how he positions himself, how he perhaps avoids a tackle. And you know, he knows sort of the steps that he needs to take in terms of how he positions himself, how he perhaps avoids a tackle.
Here's Chanatip, quick ball into Supachai.